All right, good day. This is Diesel John with J-Tech Instructional Aids here. Today we're going to be talking about the air system check on the truck here. I've got some notes that I'm going to be looking down at every once in a while, just because it is an extensive check and a lot of things to remember. It's broken down into three checks. One is the charge system test. The number two would be the primary and secondary test for the brakes, and three would be the check valves on your primary and secondary tanks. We're going to go over the first is the charging system, and what we're going to be testing for is going to be the air dryer, the compressor, the supply reservoir, and the governor, and the low pressure indicators. How we do that really just basically by starting the truck up. Over here is my instrument panel. There's going to be a low pressure light here when I start it. I got my primary and secondary tank, and then the supply. All right. Well, before we do this test, we want to make sure that the wheels are chocked. Truck is in neutral, and we're on a level ground. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and start this truck. What you hear there is the low pressure audible alarm, and this is the visual indicator. Right now the primary tank is at about 65. The light did go off. The audible alarm went off, saying we're gaining pressure. Good deal. The secondary is about 70. Primary will fill up faster. We just started the truck, so I'm going to get some air going. Again, this is really the first test, the real basic test. It's testing your all your 5 major components on your air system, which is your air dryer, takes out the moisture, the compressor, which builds up, the governor that actually monitors your air pressure to your tanks and controls it, your supply reservoirs, and your indicators. It's a pretty simple system, running off the engine, and but it's very important that these systems are checked daily, if not routinely, every time you start the truck. Once we get the system pressurized, I'll be turning off the key, and at the time we'll just verify that we have no leaks in those components. Okay. All right, we got shut the vehicle off, and now we're looking at the gauges. There is no pressure drop in the truck, which gives us a good sign. Where we're going to move on into the primary secondary test for the brakes. Now this one here, we're kind of ad-libbing a little bit. We're not going to. We know already that the parking brake is on. So sorry. And there is no system leaks right now. But for the primary and secondary test, we're actually checking the parking brake, the foot valve, the spring brake valve, the double check valve, the anti-compound lines, and the relay valve, and then the brake chambers itself. Once we just everything that we got done in the truck, we'll go out and do a walk around. Of course, you don't do the inspection itself in here. All we're looking for is to make sure that there's no pressure drop. Okay. Now there's two parts to this check, primary and secondary. One is the P1 brake, which is your parking brake, and then the other one is the full pedal brake. Okay. How we do that? You do need 2 people. You have one person in the truck and the other person walking around listening for air leaks. And how you do that is by actually just pushing the brake down and checking this and holding the brake and verifying that there is no air leaks coming from the system, and it looks pretty stable. My foot is still depressing the brake. Again, you'd have a person walking around the truck, visually, doing a visual as well, listening for air leaks and all those major components. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to go walk. We're going to get out of the truck now, because we went over the charging system brakes and then the primary and secondary test on the brakes. Now we're going to be doing the check valve test. Now I'm going to go outside of the truck and we're going to look at where one of the tanks are at. Okay. Okay, underneath the truck here, you have your tanks. I'm not sure if you can see it here, but what we'd be doing is restarting the truck again, gaining that pressure, and actually gonna filling up the tank, primary and secondary tanks, and then draining one tank, shutting the vehicle off, truck off, draining the primary tank all the way down, and verifying that the check valve between the secondary and the primary there's no leak by. Okay, and then you start the truck again and redo it for the secondary tank. Is draining the secondary tank, making sure that the check valve in between the primary and the secondary is holding, and that would be your last test. And again, periodically you'd be starting the truck for these tests to make sure you have a full pressure. All right. Thank you for watching my video on air test check for semis. Thank you.